He froze under the rim and passed it up. 3 months later, his body was fine, but he refused to play. I'm not mentally ready. From all-world talent to mental collapse. To understand how it got this bad, we need to rewind. It all started in 2015. Ben Simmons was just 18 years old, but already looked like a complete prototype. 6'10", 240 pounds. And somehow, he moved like a guard. He didn't just pass. He orchestrated. No-look dimes, full-court outlets, cross-court lasers, thrown in stride like a quarterback. At LSU, he averaged 19 points, 11 rebounds, 4.8 assists. As a freshman, he was everywhere. Spin moves in transition, put-back dunks, chase down blocks from nowhere. Scouts called him a once-in-a-decade playmaker in a power forward's body. By mid-season, he was the undisputed #1 pick. His vision was Magic Johnson. His athleticism, Blake Griffin. He led the SEC in rebounds per game. He ranked top 5 nationally in double-doubles. But there was one red flag. He barely shot from deep, just 3 three-pointers all season. And critics said his game was too reliant on the paint. And LSU didn't even make the NCAA tournament, despite him being the best player in the country. Still, the hype was too big to fail. In 2016, the Philadelphia 76ers made it official. Ben Simmons, #1 overall pick.
Philadelphia 76ers select Ben Simmons.
Summer League dominance. 10 points, 8 rebounds, 5 assists a game, with highlight passes that went viral. He was already being called the face of the process. But before his rookie year could even start, disaster. A fractured foot in training camp, gone before it even began. And as the months dragged on, the whispers got louder. Was this just bad luck? Or the first warning sign that the Sixers' golden ticket was about to shatter before it ever touched the floor? When Simmons finally debuted in 2017, he didn't just play, he controlled everything. 16 points, 8 rebounds, 8 assists as a rookie, 5 triple-doubles in his first 20 games. By season's end, he had 12, the most by a rookie since Magic Johnson. And a Rookie of the Year award, beating out Donovan Mitchell in a heated race. Endorsements rolled in. Nike, Beats by Dre, Foot Locker, Upper Deck trading cards, NBA 2 Kelvin cover appearances. He was on billboards in Philly before his first playoff game. He had the Sixers back on national television. In his playoff debut versus Miami, a 17-point, 14-assist performance that had Philly fans chanting his name. Then came year 2. Another leap. 16.9 points, 8.8 rebounds, 7.7 assists, and elite defense on every position. He was an all-star at 22. Philly looked like a contender for the first time since Allen Iverson. With Joel Embiid inside and Simmons running point, the Sixers had size, speed, and swagger. In 2020, he made All-NBA third team and All-Defensive first team, while leading the league in steals at 2.1 per game. His defense was suffocating. His passing, still elite, but the cracks were there. He refused to shoot threes. Defenders sagged 10 feet off him. And every playoff series, it got worse. Yet the Sixers kept doubling down. But with every ounce of faith they poured into him, the weight on his shoulders grew heavier. Until one play, one decision, turned a championship dream into the moment the city turned on him forever. By the 2021 playoffs, Simmons was supposed to be entering his prime. Instead, he became the story, for all the wrong reasons. In the Eastern semifinals versus Atlanta, he averaged just 9.9 points. And, at the free throw line, a brutal 34.2%, the worst in NBA playoff history for a player with at least 70 attempts in a single postseason. Game after game, teams hacked him intentionally. He missed 27 free throws in that series alone. But Game 7 was the breaking point. Late in the fourth quarter, scores were 88-86. He drove past Danilo Gallinari, had a wide-open dunk, and passed the ball. The crowd groaned. Some fans even covered their faces. Embiid threw his hands in the air. Philly never recovered. The Hawks scored on the next possession. They lost at home. and the world roasted him. "I don't know how to answer that," Doc Rivers said.
"Yeah, David, I don't know that question or the answer to that right now."
When asked if Simmons could be a championship point guard, Embiid said the turning point was when we had an open shot and we didn't take it. Shaq called it the moment he lost Philly forever. Charles Barkley said, "That might be the worst play I've ever seen from an all-star." The memes were brutal. The criticism was relentless. Number Pass Ben trended worldwide. The clip topped Twitter's trending list within an hour. Reaction videos flooded YouTube. Sports talk shows dedicated entire segments to his collapse. Even rival players mocked him on Instagram. Behind the scenes, friends said he stopped answering calls. Reports claimed he was mentally in a dark place, and the pressure had completely broken his confidence. He was seeing open lanes and still refusing to attack. He attempted just 3 shots total in the fourth quarters of the entire series. NBA analysts called it a mental block. Fans called it quitting. And the relationship between Simmons and the Sixers was never the same. But that wasn't rock bottom. What came next made the Game 7 collapse look like child's play. That summer, Simmons demanded a trade. He cut off contact with the Sixers, ignored calls, missed training camp entirely. When he finally showed up, it was only to avoid losing millions in fines. But at practice, he barely moved, didn't engage in drills, kept his phone in his pocket, got kicked out by Doc Rivers for refusing to participate. The Sixers suspended him for conduct detrimental to the team. Behind the scenes, Simmons cited mental health struggles. He told the team he wasn't mentally ready to play in Philadelphia again, that the city's boos, the media's criticism, and the weight of Game 7 had left him broken. Friends said he'd stopped speaking to nearly everyone in the organization. He even avoided team facilities entirely, preferring to train in private. Some teammates didn't hear from him for months. The standoff lasted months. He was fined over $19 million in missed games and bonuses. Every day, the headlines got louder. Talk shows debated whether he'd ever play again. Fans turned on him completely. Every home game without him brought boos and "Where's Ben?" chants. Signs calling him soft and scared filled the stands. Social media tore him apart daily, dissecting every sighting, every rumor. Embiid told reporters, "I don't care about that man." Teammates stopped mentioning his name. It was like he'd vanished from the roster. His trade value plummeted. What once was a franchise cornerstone was now treated like a toxic asset. Some analysts called it the ugliest player-team breakup since Vince Carter in Toronto. Others said it was even worse because it was happening in the age of social media, where every clip, every rumor, was amplified and dissected in real time. By February 2022, the Sixers finally moved him to the Brooklyn Nets in a blockbuster deal for James Harden. A fresh start, or so it seemed, because in Brooklyn, the fresh start everyone expected turned into a whole new kind of disaster. Simmons never played a game that first season in Brooklyn. A herniated disc in his back kept him out completely. When he finally suited up in October 2022, it was against Philadelphia. The boos were deafening. Signs read "Shoot the ball" and "Thanks for Harden." And on the court, he still looked broken, passing up shots, avoiding the free throw line. Through his first 10 games, he averaged just 5.6 points and had more fouls than made field goals. Multiple games with 0 shot attempts in the fourth quarter. His explosiveness was gone. His confidence, even lower. By February, Jack Vaughn was benching him late in games. Some nights, he didn't play the entire fourth quarter. In Memphis, he fouled out in 17 minutes, with 0 points. In Phoenix, he had as many turnovers as shot attempts won. By March, his season was over again, officially for back rehab. Unofficially, fans said he'd lost his passion for the game. 2 full seasons, 0 playoff games, more games missed than played. $177 million contract, now being called one of the worst in NBA history. For the second year in a row, Ben Simmons' season didn't end with a buzzer. It ended with silence, but the silence wouldn't last, because soon, people stopped asking when he'd come back, and started asking if he'd ever come back at all. By 2023, Simmons' career was hanging by a thread. The Nets publicly supported him, but privately questioned if he'd ever be the same. He spent the offseason rehabbing his back, working with shooting coaches, and reportedly meditating daily to rebuild his confidence. The start of 2023-24 looked promising. A 10-point, 10-rebound, 8-assist return on opening night. A triple-double versus Milwaukee in November. Flashes of his old speed in transition. But then, back inflammation again. Weeks off. Minutes restrictions. In December, he missed 38 straight days. When he returned, his minutes were cut in half. By the All-Star break, he'd played just 15 games. In his last 3 seasons combined, he'd appeared in only 57 total games. The whispers got louder. Was this the end? Was he just another what-if story? Even Brooklyn fans began to lose hope. The player once called the next LeBron, reduced to a role player fighting for rotation minutes. And for the first time, even Simmons' biggest supporters started to wonder if the comeback was impossible. And then, just when it felt like his career was quietly fading away, something happened that no one saw coming, and it would decide, once and for all, whether Ben Simmons had anything left to give. Then came the rebound. In 2024-25, Simmons entered training camp fully healthy for the first time in years. Reports said he dropped 20 pounds. He was moving with more burst. And early in the season, the flashes returned. 15 points, 9 assists versus Boston. A 12-12-14 triple-double against Miami. Lockdown defense on Luka Doncic in a Nets win. He was pushing the pace, finding shooters, and finishing at the rim with more aggression. He shot over 60% from the field in his first 15 games. The shooting still wasn't there, but his energy was. For the first time in 4 years, he played 10 straight games without missing time. The Nets went 7-3 that stretch. Their offensive rating jumped into the league's top 10. Teammates praised his leadership, with Mikal Bridges calling him the engine of their fast break. And while the all-star version of Simmons might be gone, this one looked like he still belonged. Now the question is, can he keep it going? From generational talent to public punching bag, Ben Simmons' story is still being written. But what do you think? Is he still a future star, or the NBA's biggest what-if? Drop your take in the comments, subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you in the next one.